Hi, this is Clint Kearns with Southern Gospel Tube. My friends, you know me as Bill Clinton, and I'm here with a good friend of mine, Eric Lambert from the Comedy Barn in Pigeon Forge, Tennessee.
Hey, how you doing?
Oh, doing great, Eric. Just want to ask you a few questions and kind of get to know Eric. Just kind of tell us how you got into this business. I mean, you're one of the stars here. We love seeing you, and the folk that's going to see this absolutely love it. Tell us a little bit about Eric.
Well, first, let me say you have excellent taste. Second, well, I guess I got started in college. I always gravitated towards theater. I got started in church initially. I always loved to sing, and I always liked to be in musical groups there at church and things. And when I got to college, I kind of gravitated towards the theater, got a job at the theater there. And my friends were always telling me I was funny, you should go up and do things. And I tried open mic night at a little comedy club called the Grin Room Comedy Club. And I performed there until I got good enough to go out on the road. And then I started doing more and more different gigs on the road. And I always tried to work clean when I could. And there wasn't a lot of venue for that in the clubs. So rather than work blue, I decided to get into the comedy clubs on the cruise ships. They had cruise ships that would travel around out of Miami, and that's where I was living at the time. And I would go out on those cruise ships, and I would do shows, and I could be pretty clean. And so it was a place you could work clean. That's where David Fee saw me, who's a friend of mine, and he asked me if I'd come to Tennessee. Now, I was always doing great. I was making a good six figures working at the cruise ships and the college market, and he said, no, I want you to come to Tennessee and do a show there. And I said, well, okay. And so I did. And I thought he was crazy when I got here. It was a little tiny shack, and it was just, nothing. 400 seats and just little folding chairs they had. But David could sell ice cream to Eskimos, and so I said, yeah, okay, I'll do it. And I stayed there, and it just took off, and the rest is all history.
And so you perform here about how often?
I have here at this show probably done in excess of 4,000 shows now over a 12-year period. We started in 1995. I was here when it opened, and now it's 2007, so that's a long time.
This is kind of an unplanned question, and this is really a lot of curiosity in my mind. I see a lot of the shows here, and I see you just have a knack for picking out preachers. Does that just happen, or do you just? How does that come about? Because it happens quite a lot.
You look for good hair. That's the first thing. You look for good hair. If you're going to get after a preacher, you can tell them right away. Anything that's got like something that doesn't move, you can tell as they laugh and it stays with them the whole way. You got a 50-50 shot at a preacher right there. The other giveaway is when there's a lot of people going, that's a preacher, because everybody wants to see the preacher in a humorous situation, out of control and in somebody else's control, because it's not something you see all the time. You got to remember that laughter is an involuntary response, and so is, in many cases, the motivation to make somebody the butt of a joke or the laughter, and so they naturally gravitate towards preachers. They get pointed out quite a bit. Usually within a few seconds of them being on stage, I can tell if they're a preacher or not. Generally because of the way they answer, the way they speak, the way they carry themselves, because immediately they slip into the sermon voice, you call it.
Yeah.
They'll get up and say, what's your name? My name! Right away. That's not a garbage collector. That cat, he doesn't, he doesn't make pizza for a living. That's a preacher. And so it just so happens that people always point them out. And keep bringing them in, because it's the funniest thing going.
I spoke briefly with Stephen about the word comedy. Sometimes people tend to...
Wait, that's Mallory sneaking behind us over here. Shooting a shot. But one of the cloggers is running past. Go ahead.
People tend to associate the word comedy with off-color and something, but the Comedy Barn has disproven that. I mean, that's really, the Comedy Barn is more family. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, yeah, I mean, the way I approach comedy is as a ministry. Ever since I've been saved, I've always approached the concept of comedy as a ministry. How can I help somebody make their day a little better? I mean, and a lot of comics get pulled into the idea that they have to have their point of view, and that has to be what they get across to people. and they start making a speech. Now, there's a lot of room for that, and I respect guys that do that because it takes a lot of effort, and they are trying to get their own voice across. However, I like to entertain people, and I like to have people enjoy themselves when they come and put things away. That's my ministry. I want them to take off some of the burdens they have and use the gift that God has given me to make people laugh, to make their day a little better, to minister to them. I mean, Jesus didn't just go out and perform miracles and heal the blind and make the lame to walk. He also washed people's feet. You know, he did mundane tasks that were within his ability, and he showed everybody the way to do that. And that's what I like to do, is to get out and make people's day a little brighter. Now, the fact that I choose to be clean is simply because I want to reach a broad area of people. It's not just the fact I'm a Christian, I don't like to curse. I also want to reach an entire broad area of people, children all the way up to older people who want to see something they can all enjoy together as a family. It doesn't exist much. So it's just fits, everything kind of fits together, much like everything that God does. It all fits together into me making the show I want to do. And I also like to see my kids in the audience. I like to work and see my family here. And I don't want to be that kind of a role model to them, to be cursing and to be using blue material. It helps me in my witness to them. Yeah. You know.
And laughter really is the best medicine, isn't it?
I think actually penicillin or amoxicillin, or they got a lot of good stuff up. Yes, laughter probably. I would say laughter, but if you've got the flu, go to a doctor. You know, I can crack you up. You're still going to cough, but. There are all kinds of studies about taking in oxygen and all this kind of thing, and it's a natural defense of the body to laugh. I don't know if you know that, but as you laugh, you take in oxygen, and it helps you oxygenate your blood and everything. And also, a lot of people don't realize that laughter is involuntary. You know, you can fake a laugh, but everybody knows you're faking a laugh, or you do anyway. But if you laugh at something that's funny, it's involuntary. So it's part of everyone's makeup. Everybody laughs, and people laugh at things not of their own accord. Like, I couldn't help but laugh. You hear that all the time. You can't, because it's an involuntary response. So it's healthy to laugh and do that. It's not healthy to suppress laughter at all.
Well, one last thing. Folk, when they come to the Comedy Barn, they know a lot of times they're in danger of getting called on stage. Any advice to someone that does not want to get up here? Anything they can do to avoid that?
No, nothing. If they point you out, we'll get you. We got big guys in the back that look like me, except bigger. And yeah, if you don't want to go on stage, just sit there and say no, thank you, because I will go on and pick somebody. I don't want anybody that doesn't want to get up there. What I would suggest is that if you come to the Comedy Barn and get a chance to be on stage and you don't want to get on there, you really need to read a joke book and improve your sense of humor, because you got a big chance. You'll be walking around like a star for weeks. Everybody go, hey, ladies and gentlemen, and you go, that's me. You know, and you're a star. You get your 15 minutes that way, you know. And you can become huge. You're on YouTube. Your daughter in that proposal is huge on YouTube, man. Yeah.
Can they make their reservations for the show online? Can they?
Yeah, I believe they can. I believe you can make reservations online. But if you can't make your reservations online, you can call the Comedy Barn. I think it's 865-428-5222. And in case he gets a time, it's right here. That's the number right there. Now you can.
I will have it there.
Click on that, and it goes to our phone line.
And also, any other show tickets that they need, they can also purchase those at a discount out front. Isn't that right?
Apparently, our marketing person has gotten to this man, ladies and gentlemen, because I guess, yes, I'm a comedian. I don't know why you sell tickets. Yes. Why, yes, Mr. Clinton, they absolutely can. And thank you for mentioning that.